Hello there. Thank you for watching. In this video, basically going to go over some nifty helper panes for parallel debugging and want to show that to you. Now the sample code is available on MSDN. I'll give the link in the video. And yeah, let's get started. For starters, I'm going to go ahead and auto hide that. Why don't we go ahead and run the application. Now the great thing with this sample is that there's a few lines in here that have debugger.break. So you yourself don't even have to set the breakpoints. And what I've done is brought up the parallel stacks window. Now you can access that via debug windows and parallel stacks. There's also a nifty semi-involved keyboard shortcut for it. But basically, yeah, I mean, there's that to get the more involved view that way. And there's also a tasks window as well. Just a couple different views there as well as far as what a person can do and overload the screen. But yeah, all parts are helpful in a little bit different way as far as this window, the tasks, and the stacks as well. So just to give a little bit more overview of this, if you happen to want that, if you're watching this as more or less a introductory, if you already heard of this stuff, then obviously you don't necessarily need to be having the explanation, but yeah, giving it whoever needs it. Basically, with this stacks window, it's synonymous, what I would say, is to the call stack window. So if you're used to this, hey, we're starting out at A, then it went into B, then went into C, the parallel stacks is also going to give you that as well. So in this box of the diagram, we have A, which calls into B, which calls into C, and it's also saying that 4 threads happen to be at that point in the code right now. So that's just basically an overview of that. Now these other boxes, the external code, just basically safely ignore that. It just seems like some .NET generated stuff, maybe a little bit more to it. I could be wrong, if there's some way to get at that, but the external code, I assume maybe it's like something to do with like the assembly references that come by default with the console app. So, but basically, yeah, where we're at in the code window here, just to give us some more room, we're in method C, and a couple of loops in here, like a multi-thread safe increment of the variable, and just basically making sure that all tasks are in C. So what I'm going to do at this point is go ahead and continue the application. And what we have here is a little bit more complexity of the positions of the thread. And if the diagram is not the view that you need at this point in time, basically another great way to look at it is using the parallel tasks window. In here, what it would show you is the location. So that's really cool as far as having to know that, hey, something is in H, E, C, and K. And that's also repeated as well in the diagram. So a little bit different view. And yeah, basically getting us to that point where we have the information we need, like visually, to better make decisions, when either making a program and solving a bug that you found, or maybe you're debugging a production application, or maybe you're just trying to find a different way to engineer the program too. So a lot of different ways. But yeah, basically this did break an E. So you happen to see that, with this cursor here, obviously that's where that one is, and that's where that one is. When I said cursor, I meant arrow. So that is what's there. Basically, yeah, I mean, you have a lot more options in there as far as for parallel help and all of that. Just a lot of stuff to, for you to explore later. And, for myself as well, just to use those as far as where they want to, freezing threads, things like that. So, looks like a lot of helpful stuff, but basically, let's see. What I wanted to do at this point is just basically point out, also that this thread is active. And for the blocked threads, one thing that's really cool is that if you mouse over right in front of us, basically saying that task 2 is waiting on something S, which is owned by thread 10,288. So, but basically, yeah, wherever that S would be, they all happen to be S, so it really doesn't tell you the complete story there. But yeah, basically, if you look into the code a little bit more, it'll be a little bit more apparent of what would be um, blocking at that point in time. I'm not going to go into that for this video or anything like that. You can look into that yourself. But basically, why don't we go ahead and continue the code, and it will expand the diagram and change things up a bit. So pretty much at this point, what we're dealing with is even more complexity. So we have breakpoint 3, and basically the comment in the code is just stating where the different threads are located. And we also have that repeated here in the location. Just very, very helpful there. And in the diagram, pretty much the same thing. So um, let's see. So 4 threads happen to be started out there, and then they forked over onto, not necessarily forked, but they split their ways. And 2 threads are at J, and basically one went all the way up to Q. And if this seems like a big mess, convoluted mess, or hard to understand, one thing, really cool thing you can do is double click something, and it'll take you to that area for the specific thread. So basically we are in method P, and you can see it calls Q, and you can quickly go to definition on that, or peak definition, whatever suits your needs there. But basically this sucker here is, I believe it's basically just having the endless loop, not necessarily endless, but it's waiting for something else on there. So yeah, just wanted to give that overview of this for you. And yeah, I mean, we have some other blockages going on here, but this one is telling us that task 4 is waiting on task 5. So at least that way you have a little bit more info. In this case, a little bit better than something like how we had in the last thing that I had moused over a minute ago or so. But yeah, basically, I think there's one more breakpoint in here to show you, but I hope you guys get the drift. I can show you the next breakpoint a little bit, but that's mainly what's going on here. Is just using the tools to better understand the scenario that you're in, and help you along, and just be able to better grasp problems quicker and not feel so overwhelmed, or that your mind just can't get a good hold on the problem at hand. So I mean, here we have some deadlocks involved. So just other stuff to look into. So, and there's also scheduled tasks as well. Status. Obviously, any of these columns are sortable, obviously, but all that information will be very helpful. In when we encounter problems during programming, things like that. So yeah, just wanted to share this with you. Hopefully this is very helpful for you. Feel free to comment below. And as always, have a wonderful day. And thank you so much for watching. Bye for now.